December 2022. Still in college, and I'm failing all my classes. And I have half a semester's worth of work to turn in. I haven't showed up to class. I haven't done any of my homework. And when it's time to sit down and do my homework, I get started. I get about 15 minutes in and I get stuck on a question. And then I pull my phone out and I start texting. And then I keep texting. And then after that, I go check Snapchat. After I check Snapchat, I check Instagram. Then I check TikTok, and now I'm scrolling through TikTok, sitting in the library at my school, not doing any homework. Then, a couple weeks later, I find a business model that I want to replicate and turn into my own business. I get started. The first day, I set up my software that I'm going to be using, and then I start scrolling on TikTok. 15 minutes of work. The next day, I start watching tutorial videos on how to use my software, how to do the business model. I get about 10 minutes into the video and I turn it off. I start scrolling through TikTok. In today's video, I want to talk about deep work. And deep work is a very interesting subject, which let me go ahead and tell you about right now. Yesterday actually, I worked for about 9 hours straight and didn't look at my phone one time. I spent the entire time working. And this was only possible through deep work. So today I'm going to be explaining what deep work is, how it works, and then how to use it. If you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe, leave a comment, like the video so I can keep making more of these. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Deep work is the process of putting away all distractions, getting completely focused, and working on the tasks that you have at hand and getting the most amount of work done in the smallest amount of time. You have a certain amount of time in this block, right? It's called a deep work block, to do an amount of tasks that is a little bit harder than usual. Like maybe you have a certain amount of time set up and then you pick something that might take you a little bit longer than that time and you try to get everything done in that time as fast as possible. So deep work revolves around this idea of flow state. Now, flow state is this mentality that you have. I don't know, you've probably been through it before. You're working on something and like nothing can bother you. You're so engulfed in that thing that you're working on that there's just no possible way that you can look up at any second at anything else. That's what deep work is. You're training your mind to continue doing that for a long time, over and over and over again. Just deep work, deep work, deep work. And at first, it's very hard to be completely focused and not do anything else. But over time, you'll get better at this complete focus work. These are, by the way, these deep work blocks, this is something you would do maybe before you go to work, if you have a 9 to 5, or before you go to school, or when you wake up in the morning. For example, right now, I'm in a deep work block. It's a 90-minute block that I have this morning, and I woke up at 5. So it's about 6:15 maybe. Let's go ahead and see. Yeah, it's 6:45 right now. So it's very early in the morning. The reason why you should do deep work blocks in the morning is because no one can bother you. Most people aren't awake. No one's texting you. No one's calling you. This is the perfect time to get your deep work done. What I do is I have this little clock right here. I set a timer for however long I'm going to be working for, and then I give myself a set amount of tasks that need to get done during that time. During this time, I needed to record 2 YouTube videos. I needed to upload a YouTube video, and I needed to get something worked on for a client. So I did the thing for the client. I put up the YouTube video, I recorded the first video, and now I'm recording the second video. Let me explain the one hack to deep work and deep focus and why we do this. Distractions, instant gratification. We're trying to eliminate distractions from our environment. That's one reason why I do this early in the morning. You can do it late at night. But deep work, no distractions actually. You want to stay away from all distractions. And some rules in this deep work: no browsing. So I can't search anything that maybe I'm curious about something or I need help with something. There's no Google searches allowed. Then you would think, well, why no Google searches? Well, you search up one thing and then maybe there's information on something else on that same Google search page, and you start looking at that, and slowly but surely 15 minutes, you don't even realize, but 15 minutes go by where you've just been BSing on Google search. No phones allowed during that time either. So if I have to use my phone for whatever reason, I can use my laptop to do that. It's important to stay away from messages. Sometimes I might have to message someone during a deep work block, but it's like, it's absolutely necessary. Like, a client, maybe the client calls me during a deep work, and I'll like pause it and talk to the client, but I'll go back to the deep work when I'm off the phone. Deep work is not BS tasks. You're not answering emails and changing your logo and editing your website. You're not checking your grades or like responding to an email to a teacher. You're doing that hard task. And in your situation, maybe if you're not an entrepreneur, this is when you would set up a 90-minute window, and maybe you have a paper you have to turn in. You'd spend that 90-minute window working on that paper, and I guarantee you, with zero distractions, just sitting there by yourself, staring at the screen, working on the paper diligently, I guarantee you'll get a lot further than you would have without doing that deep work block, if you would have just regularly did it. Because here's the thing, you get to 30 minutes, and after that 30 minutes, you don't want to do it anymore. And that reminds me of the Pomodoro technique. And I think we've all heard of the Pomodoro technique, where you study for 30 minutes and then you take a 5-minute break, and then you go back again to studying for 30 more minutes, and then you take another 5-minute break, and then I think every 30 minutes you take like a 15-minute break. That sounds ridiculous. 30 minutes and then 5 minutes of break. Let's talk about the break. You take the break 5 minutes, and it's never 5 minutes. I've tried this technique myself. I know how it goes. You take the 5 minutes off, and then you're scrolling through your phone during those 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden, minutes go by, 15 minutes go by, and you just keep going. I had this video game I used to play. It was called Brawlhalla, which was like a fighting game. It was like Smash for the Wii, but it was for Xbox, and I was really, really good at it, and I used to play it all the time. And every match was like 5 minutes, so I thought, well, 30 minutes of work, I'll play one match. Well, I'd play 2 match, 3 match, 4 match, 5 match, 6 match. Then my friend would call me, let's play Brawlhalla, 7 match, 8 match, 15 match. 2 hours go by, and I still have not gone back to work. And then I get distracted with something else. I've never been able to get more than one window in that done. Then the 30 minutes, right? It takes time to get focused. Like, to really get focused, it's going to take you time. You're going to have to, that's why I suggest a morning routine, to get like actually into the groove before you start working, especially if you're new to entrepreneurship or any form of self-improvement or like diligent working. I recommend you have a morning routine. But now I'm at the point now where like I do my morning routine, but later in the day. I haven't done my morning routine yet, but it's going to happen after this first deep work block, because I know I can get to it as soon as I wake up. But for other people, when I first started, I had to have my morning routine to get started in the day. It's a horrible thing to say. I don't even like saying it, but to get started with the day, you should have a morning routine, especially if it's new to you, if this whole thing is new to you, if you're not used to working in a deep focus for hours and hours on end. But it takes you probably about 15 minutes, even still, to get completely situated and focus into a task. And you're going to ruin that. You have another 15 minutes in that time. You're going to ruin that 15 minutes by going off for 5 minutes for no reason. And then in my situation, I never even got back to the task. So Pomodoro technique is just not it. You're an adult. That's all I have to say. It's 30 minutes and you're an adult. And you're going to sit here and say, oh, I got to get 30 minutes. And I got to get my 5-minute break. And then 30 more minutes and then 5 minutes again. Like, bro, work. Be an adult. 30 minutes and then a break? What is this? I don't get it. So Pomodoro technique, do not use that. That is just not the way to go at all. Now, when it comes to deep work, I do have a recommendation. This book right here, Deep Work by Cal Newport. This book is very, very, very good. It goes over deep work principle, and then it goes over the theory towards the end of the book. So it kind of explains how it works in the beginning and how people use it, and then the back half is how you can use deep work. I really love this book. This little tab right here, actually, this is where I stopped. I read the back half of the book, so there's 2 parts, and just how I said, the back half talked about actual theory. The front half talked about how it worked. I was very familiar with deep work by the time I read this book. I was about 6 months into active deep work, so I just kind of skipped that part. I'm going to go back and read it at some point. But I did read the back half of the book, which is actually the majority of the book. This is where the back half starts. so I didn't really miss much of the book. But I would recommend reading this book. This book, one of my favorite chapters from this book, talks about embracing boredom. Right, so we tend to get bored very quickly, and when you start to embrace that boredom, instead of hopping on your phone and going on social media, it tells you to just sit in your boredom and accept it, that you're going to be bored. Because believe me, I get bored all the time. And my thing is, I don't enjoy social media anymore. That doesn't help me feel better. I don't enjoy I don't have video games anywhere in my room. That doesn't make me feel better. I don't like watching TV. It's like I'm either going to be working or I'm just going to be sitting here staring at the fucking ceiling. So I have to work. There's no not working. And that's the thing, you just keep cutting out distractions. Another thing this book talks about is social media, deleting social media off your phone, because it's just a distraction. Don't be that jackass. It's like, oh, I'm deleting Snapchat. Don't be that guy. But Deep Work, my friend, get this book. It's on Amazon. $12, bro. This is a great book. It's not even that big. It's like 260 pages. It's not even that long. This book isn't, and like, it's not that bad, bro. It's really not that bad. So, you first-time readers, this book is wonderful. And speaking of which, I'm going to make a video of some first-time reads for like self-improvement and like nonfiction books. So if you're interested in that, stick around, subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be making that video probably, I don't know. I made it the other day, but it wasn't good, so I'm going to remake it. I'll make a video on that if you're interested. Subscribe. Send me a DM on Instagram. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make that video probably, I don't know, maybe today. I actually have some time right now, so I might do it. But yeah, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful afternoon, morning, day, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Have a great time. Oh, and stop scrolling through social media. It's bad for you.